Hey y'all, I hope everyone's doing well. I really want to talk about spoonies and holidays, getting through the holidays because it can be really rough. Thanksgiving is the day after tomorrow, and Thanksgiving is all about Thanksgiving dinner, sitting around the table and eating turkey, mashed potatoes, you know, cranberries, yams, whatever your family makes. And So, for those who are on a severely restricted diet or are unable to eat and are TPN or feeding tube dependent, it can be very hard for that person to get through the holidays. It can be very upsetting, it can be very depressing, you can feel left out. But there are ways to get through it successfully. I know the first year that I was unable to enjoy dinner with my family, um, it was very upsetting for me. I actually went into my room and cried. Um, but as the years have passed, I've learned to sit at the dinner table while everybody else is eating around me and be perfectly fine. Um, I've also developed over the years a couple of safe foods that are easy for me to digest and that, but as long as I don't eat too much, should not make me sick. So, I make sure to have that available to me wherever I am, whether I am going somewhere for the holidays or if I am at home. That way, if I'm feeling well enough to eat a little bit, I can sit at the dinner table and actually eat with my family. Um, it can be very easy for a spoonie to feel left out because because our holidays do revolve so much around food, whether it's Christmas turkey, um, or Thanksgiving turkey, Christmas ham, birthday cake. It's all always kind of the center of a celebration. And if you don't sit at the dinner table, then you feel like you're getting left out. If you're not in the kitchen cooking and you hear everybody in the kitchen laughing, again, you can feel really left out. And so I think one of the big things is if you can't eat anything, is to make sure you include yourself in the situation, in whatever's going on in your home. Um, for instance, I still make the pumpkin pies for Thanksgiving, and any other desserts, I kind of try and pitch in and do what I can. Um, I also, for Christmas, on Christmas Eve, um, I make cookies with the kids, just me and the kids. We bake sugar cookies, and then everybody comes into the kitchen once they're all cooled down, and we decorate them. And it's a way to interact with everybody and have fun and talk, but still not have to worry about actually eating. So I think the hardest thing is inserting yourself into whatever is going on. Sitting at the table can be very hard, but if I think it's more important to interact with your family during this time than to worry about whether or not you can eat or not and what should you eat. Kind of know your limits for the day so that you don't overdo it and so that you don't get sick, so that you can be a part of the day as much as possible. Um, I typically try and set a time for me to go lay down and set an alarm so that I can get a little bit of a rest in between all the festivities without being gone for too long. Maybe like an hour, hour and a half of laying down in my room just so that I can enjoy the rest of the day and not be overexhausted by 6, 7 o'clock in the evening. Um, I also know what activities I can and cannot do. I can't stand in front of a stove all day, but I can sit at our kitchen island and help with whatever's going on at the time there. Um, you know, I try and make sure that I have, again, like I said, the safe foods that I can eat so that I can join in when people are eating. plenty of liquids so that I don't get dehydrated. And then again, all my medical supplies that I may need, whether it's IV medication, oral medication, um, fluids, my TPN. Um, I make sure to be prepared so that I can anticipate what is going on. I try to anticipate what's going to happen so that, hey, if I all of a sudden feel nauseous, I have these medications to make sure that I'm going to be okay so that I don't have to go um, into my room for the rest of the night physically being ill and unable to be with my family. Or, if we're out at a friend's house or a family's house, I won't have to say, you know, we have to leave. I have to go home because I'm sick. So really, it's about knowing your body and anticipating the situations. That will allow you that will allow you to actually be able to participate more in whatever celebration is going on in your house or with your family, and make the holidays a little bit easier. Um, Things like decorating the tree, if you get a Christmas tree, again, know your limits. It doesn't hurt to get up and interact, but then when you feel that, you know, your legs are getting weak or you're feeling a little bit tired, sit down and your family will understand. It's all about, you know, this time of the year, whether it's Thanksgiving, Hanukkah, Christmas, um, and even other holidays throughout the year and birthdays. The biggest thing is just your family wants you there and your family wants you interacting. And so typically they're not going to have an issue with, you modifying activities so that you can make sure that you stay, um, you know, included. They're not going to mind if you come in with two full suitcases of supplies so that you don't have to worry about what if, I am throwing up and I need fluids or I need medication. What if I feel, um, if I start to have an allergic reaction and I need medication, things like that. They'd rather you be prepared and, be a part of stuff than, you have to leave because you're unable to participate. And then on top of that, if you have to leave, if you have to go lay down, if you have to take a nap, things like that, do not feel guilty. It's so easy to feel bad that you're stuck in bed when your family's all in the living room, you know, playing games, eating, talking, whatever. But you gotta remember, in order to be there for your family, you have to take care of your body first. And if you don't take care of your body first, it's harder to spend a holiday in the hospital than it is to spend a holiday stuck in bed. Um, I've been there. I had not last Thanksgiving, Thanksgiving 2013. I was in the hospital, and it sucked. And I have spent my birthday in the hospital, and my parents try and make it better. We try and celebrate. We try and, but when you're not feeling good, when you're admitted into the hospital, when you're so sick that you're admitted into the hospital, whether it's for pain control, um, throwing up, fainting, whatever it is, it's harder to enjoy a day that way than it is to lay down and say, I've got to take care of myself. I'm not feeling good. I'm going to go lay down and I will come back when I am feeling better. If that means the next day, that means the next day. Your family is going to understand. Um, Now, I keep saying your family is going to understand, and I know there's plenty of people who are out there thinking, well, I've tried this with my family and it doesn't work. Some families, some family members can easily say, um, you know, they don't understand what you're going through. They don't understand why you need to lay down or why you need some whatever treatment, whatever medication. And they kind of want to block it and not have to think about it again. And so they can give you a hard time. Um, and this was going to be a topic of another video, but um, those family members, they just don't understand what's going on, and a lot of the time they don't want to understand because they there's nothing that they can do about it. If there's nothing that they can do about it, then you know there's no way that they can help you. Um, and a lot of family members don't want to admit that. It can be hard for them, whether it's a parent, a spouse, um, an aunt. I still have a lot of family that doesn't truly understand what's going on in my health situation, but um, so when they see that I am now TP independent, where I get all my nutrition through my central line, they they can't figure out why. Because for them to figure out that, hey, my stomach is paralyzed, there's absolutely nothing to do for it. It makes them feel helpless, and being helpless with a loved one can be very hard. Um, so you may feel some guilt and resistance from certain family, but you've got to remember again, if you don't take care of yourself, you can't be there for your family. You can't be there to enjoy Christmas and on Christmas morning open gifts with your family, to travel for a wedding, or to be there for a family member's birthday or anniversary celebration. Um, and those are, it's more important to be there for a little while and enjoy it than it is to force yourself to be there for days or hours and then end up so sick that you are admitted into the hospital. So, like I said, the holidays can be hard. It can be depressing, but do what you can. If there's a safe food that you can eat, make sure that you have it available to you so that you can eat if you are feeling well enough to eat with your family. Make sure to include yourself. There's plenty of traditions that do not include food that you guys can do. Family games, decorating the house, um, just things like that. Just make sure to include yourself so that you're not completely left out. And, don't be afraid to speak up and say, I'm just not feeling well. I need some time. I'll be back. Or, I need to lay down and rest, and I don't know if I'm going to feel well enough to come back. Because bottom line is you can't be there for your family if you're not there yourself. And you cannot be there to celebrate if you're not there. So, you know, the holidays, any special events, they can be hard to get through, but you can get through them. You can enjoy them with your friends and family. Um, you just gotta remember to modify, be prepared, and, remember, this is out of your hands. So you have nothing to feel guilty about. Um, and, just do what you can. Enjoy the time that you have. And for friends and family who have a loved one that's sick, just be patient with them. Take, let them take their time, let them do what they need to do so that they can be available. And just remember to include them. You know, they can sit at the table and not eat, just make sure that, it's not all about the food. Have a good conversation while you guys are eating dinner. Have some traditions that don't involve food whatsoever or involve things like just baking cookies and, decorating them for Santa Claus on Christmas Eve. Things like that. So, um, you know, I hope everybody enjoys the holidays. It's really, you know, again, just your family and friends love you and you will get through it. And each year, believe it or not, gets easier and easier to get through because you start to build these new traditions. You start to, you know, have a routine. You know what to expect. You know what medications you're more likely to need and whatnot. And, you know, just remember it's a time to be with friends and family. to laugh, to love. And I hope everybody has an amazing Thanksgiving, um, Christmas, New Year's, um, and hopefully this helps some of you guys in regards to getting through these events a little bit easier. Thank you.